46, and the chapter name, as you know, the Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role. Okay. So let's start with the chapter from page number 46. A 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations. So according to a 3-year study by United Nations, a 3-year study which has been conducted by the United Nations, according to this, which used satellites and aerial photography. Okay, it warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly, that our environment has got so bad, its health is declining day by day, that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. So a 3-year study by the United Nations states that the environment has reached its critical condition in many of the 88 countries, which has been conducted by United States with the help of satellites and aerial photography. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human society. So undoubtedly, the rapid growth of world population is one of the strongest factors behind the deformation of the future of human society. It took mankind more than 1 million years to reach the first billion. That was the world population around the year 1800. So around the year 1800, the world population reached the first billion, which took mankind to reach the first billion of population for more than 1 million years. So that was the world population around the year 1800. By the year 1900, means in the next 100 years, a second billion was added. So it has reached first billion in the year of 1800. Then in the next 100 years, it has reached to second billion. And the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. And in the 20th century, the population has reached another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. So presently, the world population has reached to 5.7 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. So according to a case study, after every 4 days, the world population estimated to reach by 1 million. Fertility falls as income rise, education spreads, and health improves. Thus, development is the best contraceptive. So development is the best possible solution for overpopulation. We have to be developed socially and economically. So it helps in reduction in fertility as there is rise in income, to spread the education and improvement in health. Okay, so if we do this, then our planet would be saved. But development itself may not be possible if the present increased number continues. Only if the number of population will keep increasing day by day at the rate of like this, then it may not help in any kind of development. So what we have to do? We have to just rise. We have to just rise, there will be a rise in income, there will be education, spread in education, and there will be improvement in health. If there will be development in different spheres, then only we can control overpopulation. As the rich get richer and the poor beget children, beget means give birth to. So the rich get richer and the poor give birth to children, which condemns them to remain poor. So when the poor, there is a belief among the poor that if they give birth to more children, then they will be more economically developed. But the reality is totally opposite. They are bound to remain poor. More children does not mean more workers. So more children, if the poor give birth to more children, that doesn't mean more workers or more employment. Merely more people without work. The opposite is that if the population would increase, then it would lead to more unemployment. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized. So, human beings should not be treated like cattle who are sterilized by force. Remove the organisms, okay, that is the meaning of sterilization, okay. Remove all types of bacteria and organisms. But there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion. So to control population, an element of force has to be put on for family planning to reduce overpopulation. The choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty. Perpetuation means going up with. So what we have to do, human beings, they have to choose between two things. One is population control, another one is we have to keep going up with poverty. What we will do? We will be economically developed, or we will just control our population. So overpopulation exploits the natural resources in such a way that it leads to the declining health of this environment. There is a massive increase in population day by day. It has reached 1 billion. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the entire populations of Africa and South America put together. So, scientists estimated that, the government estimated that population of India had reached 920 million, which is more than the entire population of Africa and South America if you put together. It is more than the entire population of Africa and South America. So no one familiar with the condition in India. So no one is giving or paying attention with the drastic condition of our country. That the hope of the people would die in their hungry hutments. If the population is not controlled, then human beings have to die in their heart. Unless population control is given topmost priority. So unless we are emphasizing, we are giving importance on population control, human beings have to die in their heart. Hutments means collection of hearts, in their hearts by starving. They would not able to afford any food, they would not able to afford any shelter due to overpopulation. the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern. Transcending concern means a concern that existed for a very long time and has passed down from one generation to another generation. The survival not just of the people but of the planet. So with time, people, they are now concerned about the survival of this planet. Now we are thinking about human beings. Now our perception has changed from a mechanical view to a holistic and ecological view. We have to understand that we have to preserve our environment. We have to protect our environment. We have to protect the environment, the forest and wildlife resources. Otherwise, this planet would be a barren one. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. So now we have started to see with a comprehensive view towards our environment. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise. Demise means death. It is our passport for the future. So the environment, we should not take the environment problem, should not be used as a remark of death, but it is our passport for the future. If there would be environment problem, we would think about our future generation. Why? Because we are meeting up the needs. We are meeting up the needs of our present generation. But what our future would do, our future generation would do, if there would be no resources left in this earth? So we have changed our perception, we have changed our thinking, we have changed our views. The emerging new world vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. So the new world, it has guided us in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view and ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than dissociated collection of parts. That means we have changed our perception, we have changed our view towards holistic and ecological view. That means we are giving importance to our nature, to our environment, how to protect it and how to preserve it in various ways. And a new view has come up that we should see the world as a whole. Okay, we should see the world as a whole, and we, the human beings, other species, are the integrated part of this world. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibilities. So industry plays a different role, a very important role in this new era of responsibility. What a transformation would be effected if more businessmen shared the view of the chairman DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environment officer. So the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, he declared himself to be the chief environmental officer. If other businessmen would have the same attitude, then there will be a great effect in our environment. Our environment can change. It fully depends upon the attitude of the human beings towards the environment. He said, our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. Our duties, our ethical duties, our responsibilities towards our environment, it should be eco-friendly. It should be environmental friendly, what the measures we are taking that would excel up our environment, that would help, that would heal the unhealthy nature of the environment. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher was the former Prime Minister of England. Okay, she ruled between 1979 to 1990 in England, and she belonged from the Conservative Party. So, none has passed so decisively in the current coin of English uses as her felicitous words. So, with her felicitous decorative words, Margaret Thatcher, who was the former Prime Minister of England, she clearly pointed out, no generation has a free hold on this earth. That means no human beings has the whole right on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy. That means we have a permanent tenure of our life with a full repairing lease. That means not only we will utilize the resource, but we will repair our resources if possible. For example, deforestation is taking place for the rapid industrialization and urbanization. We have to be economically developed. In one side, we have to be economically developed. And other side, what we have to do, we will not only disseminate our natural resource, we have to do plantation program, forest plantation program. So what happens, what she meant to say, that not only we will utilize our natural resource, but also within time being we will repair the natural resources. We will replenish it. In the words of Mr. Lester Brown was environmental analyst. We have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. So this planet, the environment, is not our ancestral property. We have got this, we have inherited this from our nature, from the mother planet. We have borrowed it from our children. So we have not borrowed it from our forefathers, we have not inherited it from our forefathers, rather we borrowed it for our children. That means not only we will meet the demand of our present generation, but also we will preserve it, we will conserve all the natural resources for future generation. So we should have a holistic and ecological view towards our environment. So this is all about the chapter. This is an article written by Nani Palkiwala in the newspaper, the Indian Express. Okay? This is all about the chapter. If you're having any question, do ask me. Do ask me if you're having any doubts, any question. Please comment it in the box.